Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. Anthem first grabbed our attention at E3 last year, but surprisingly fell silent shortly after. Now, 1 year later, details are finally here to add a little more context to Anthem. So much so that we have a release date, February 22nd, 2019. So here's everything we learned about Anthem at E3 2018. I'd love to talk about the Javelin suits right away, but first, let's figure out where we start the game. The world of Anthem is deliberately unfinished and ambiguous. The gods that created this world, known as Shapers, used a powerful piece of technology known as the Anthem of Creation to form each element of the planet. For an unbeknownst reason, those gods left the planet half complete, but the tools they created the world with still remain, scattered throughout the world. With all that godlike tech laying around, it's only a question of when someone will attempt to use it for evil, so that's where we step in. We play as the Freelancers, a specially trained group of operatives who are capable of piloting a Javelin. A futuristic exosuit, which looks to be Iron Man's wet dream. The Javelins are characterised by 4 subsets: Ranger, Colossus, Interceptor and Storm. The devs have shed a little light on the classes, starting with the Ranger, which is a general suit which is balanced and thrives on up close and personal combat. The Colossus, on the other hand, is described as a specialised unit utilising heavy artillery. We've seen him wielding a mortar and a flamethrower. The Colossus, who is quickly becoming my personal favourite, was also shown charging through mines with his shield for cover. We didn't hear much about the Interceptor class, or Storm for that matter, but we can see by the demo footage the Interceptor looks to be more agile, and the Storm class uses elemental powers. We could apply traditional MMO and RPG roles to the Javelins, with the Ranger being the DPS, the Colossus could be the tank, the Storm could be a mage, and at a push, the Interceptor is a healer? Maybe not. Let's leave that on the shelf until we see their skill sets in future reveals. The devs have also noted that each Javelin class was based on the elements. A major point to be stated is that you play as a pilot, not a Javelin. Therefore, you can pick and choose which exosuit you want to take on each mission. You and your chosen squad will need to balance the weapons, the items, and the Javelins you choose to complement one another, especially in difficult endgame activities. But on the other hand, you could jump in alone after a hard day, grab the Colossus, and destroy everything in your path. The choice is yours. We also know that each Javelin class has unique skills, melee attacks, defensive setups, and good old ultimates to use. When more info is released, I'll be back to break down each Javelin class, especially the Storm. So that leads us onto the enemies in Anthem. The native wildlife always possesses a potential risk, but who will be the main villain of the game? In terms of the narrative-driven enemy, your foe will be the Dominion. These folks are aggressive, wicked and malicious, and are attempting to harness the power of the gods, aka the Anthem of Creation, to build super weapons designed to bring down your Javelin and anything else you love too. And on top of that, unconfirmed alien invaders known as Scars are here to keep both sides on their toes in a constant 3-way power struggle. Anthem is trying to give us questions we want to find answers to. We've been told that the story is solo driven, but it's also a fully fledged shared world, so you'll need up to 3 friends to be with you every endeavour and mission. Any Destiny players in the house? Remember the first time you finished a raid and the awesome memories that invokes? Well, that's what Anthem wants, but with all aspects of the game. Immersive and emergent gameplay, they call it. Although this is very much a shared world shooter, there is one place you cannot take your friends with you, your home hub of Fort Tarsis. Locked behind a massive wall to keep out the enemy, you'll return here often to hand in quests and to chat with the occasional NPC or two. This will act as your campaign home, which is solely for you. To signify this change, the camera will switch to first person whenever you go back home. So third person for the shared world, first person for when you're back at Fort Tarsis. So why would Fort Tarsis be a private experience? It's pretty simple. By making this zone a solitary place, Anthem can make changes to your private world that reflect where you are in the game's narrative. Maybe Fort Tarsis was invaded and buildings were demolished. You'd see that devastation when returning home, whereas your mate Dave may not be that far in the story and we wouldn't ruin it for him. I'm curious to know your opinion on our private refuge we call Fort Tarsis. Do you want to share your home base or keep the narrative changes to yourself? There are many RPG elements at work in Anthem, both centred around your pilot and each respective Javelin. For example, Investing in your pilot with an ability such as jumping higher with jets, this will be given to all your Javelins, whereas any upgrades to your Javelin specifically remain on that single Javelin. Let's take this point further and look at customization in Anthem. The first way you'll stand out from your friends on the battlefield is by the 2 weapons you choose to bring along. Although we haven't seen the full range of weapons available yet, we know that Anthem will use weapon rarities to signify the epicness of each firearm and collectible. In last year's demo, the Ranger picked up Yara's Wrath legendary Vault Rifle, showing us that weapons do indeed have levels applied and have stats broken down into damage, accuracy, range, rate of fire and ammo capacity. Here's something I found quite interesting. Whilst on a mission with a light Javelin such as the Interceptor or Storm, you may find a weapon which can only be used with a heavier frame, i.e. the Ranger or the super heavy Colossus, forcing you to change your character and playstyle to utilise that new weapon. In addition to this, along with the weapons you choose, you have 2 extra slots for tools, such as energy explosives or good old grenades to name a few. In terms of aesthetic customization, Anthem is all about expression. We're talking complete paint jobs. Only a small portion were shown, but that included a Mass Effect Easter egg and this paint job, which I'll be forcing all my clan to wear. Customization and monetization come hand in hand these days, which were also addressed by the devs. Loot boxes will not exist in Anthem, but purchasable items will, but they won't offer any gameplay advantages. It's all about cosmetics only. If you haven't guessed already, Anthem is intended to be played for years. It's an ongoing service which promises to dynamically change and evolve during its lifespan. We'll be grinding through missions to find the perfect weapon, upgrading our characters and equipment. We'll be building relationships with NPCs and, more importantly, other players in the world. We'll be fighting enemies with super weapons and attempting to save humanity. We'll be living every moment, which we are told is filled with deep exploration and lore for months and years of content. I can't say if Anthem will be a great game, but I can say it has a great deal of potential. What do you guys think? Anthem releases on February 22nd, 2019 on PS4, Xbox and PC. I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.